Welcome back, everyone, to Tater Tanks. Today I am playing the Foch 155 on the map Fjords. Now I know I featured this tank on the channel just a little while ago, but I had another really good battle in it and I just couldn't pass up sharing it. I actually end up beating my damage record in this battle right here, so I felt like this was a very necessary video to put up. So you can see it's a tier 9 matchup, which is good for us already. And I'm just going to sit in the back, even with the very poor accuracy and aim time on the Foch 155. I knew that with the weak spots I mentioned in the previous video, I would not be able to push up aggressively and stay aggressive and in the battle very long. So I decided to stay back. You can see that M48 Patton just got way too greedy, pushing up too far, and I get a nice shot into him there for a 41-point high roll. But he's back for more, so I get another shot into his track. And just like that, in the span of 10 to 15 seconds, the entire M48 Patton health pool is gone. And I gotta tell you, it was really satisfying to start the battle off like that, and also to have 2,000 hit points just gone with the full clip of rounds that I had. So now we are back to waiting for 45 seconds. I'm just going to sit here and let my reload finish up before I decide to make any more moves. And now that that Patton is cleaned up, the only spotted tank in the top right corner is the STB-1. I'm going to take a peek on the minimap over to the Cobra, who looks like he has gotten much too aggressive. And so I just decide on the spur of a moment, I'm going to push him, because there's no one else in that dip there with him, otherwise they would have been spotted getting in. And he just barely fired. So I'm very much guessing and assuming he's on reload. My reload just finished, and so I decide, you know what, this is my chance. So I push up, and this is what happens. 1. And now he's running because he's not ready to take me on. I get a shot in, and that gives me enough time to get the final round in. And just like that, with 2 clips, we have cleaned up 2 tanks. We are at 3,600 damage. And now that I've done that, I know I'm spotted in the middle now, so I'm not trying to get back to the original place where I was. I decide to stay here in the middle. I'm just waiting to become unspotted, and then I try to push around these dead tanks enough to potentially get some shots into the heavies and tank destroyers pushing on the bottom half of the minimap. I push the Yutas in place so that I'm hidden somewhat, and now I'm just waiting for my reload to finish up so I can get some shots into that Ho-Ri. The tier 9 Ho-Ri 1. There we go. Unfortunately, he gets behind cover. But we are 4 minutes into the game and I'm already at 4,300 damage. So this game was off to a great start for me. Bounce a shot on the Ho-Ri. Now I'm spotted again, or still spotted. So he does get a shot into me, but I end up using my 3rd shot in that clip to take him out. So I would consider that a worthy trade. Now we're at 5,000 damage, or just shy. I used my first aid kit to patch up my commander. And now we're back to waiting again. I know I was spotted here, so I'm not going to poke too far. I'm just going to let that reload settle back in before we make any more moves. Now that our reload is back, we can try to peek that Conqueror that was there before. Just got to get into position here. I'm still learning this tank, so I had to figure out all the gun depression and how far up and down I can travel with the tank hull and all that kind of stuff. I didn't play that very well. I took a shot of damage, and I took another one just barely, exposing my weak points without having a shot that I could take in return. And so now I'm pretty much a one-shot, especially if the Conqueror high rolls a little bit. And there's a T-54 Heavy there who could easily clip me. So I'm going to try to hide my weak spot a bit more now and just wait for them to make a mistake instead of trying to get shots on them where they are. I'll let them push back or fall back a little bit and see if I can do something then. But so far this is a very even matchup. You can see it's 5-5 with the health pool very similar on both sides. So I decide to turn around when I see the tank destroyers from the opposite team have pushed up quite far. And now the gorilla pushes down. I'm going to wait for him. In the meantime, that STB-1 that was in the top right corner, A8, A9, he has been removed from the game. He's back in the garage. And now you notice here, I wait for the gorilla to fire before I fire because I didn't want to tank his shot and end up dying. So I wait for him to fire at someone else, and then I'm able to clean him up. So that 5.8k damage already. We've missed, I think, one shot, and we bounced one, but otherwise our track record with the shells is actually really good. In this game, at least. Doesn't always work that way, but this time it did. Once again, we are waiting on our reload. And it's still a very even matchup, health pool-wise and number-wise. So now that everyone has fallen back from the town, or the beach, or the town, I decide to push up onto the hill, thinking that from here I'm close enough to do some damage, but I'm far enough away that I won't be spotted right away, probably not at least, and as a result I also won't be shot at and taken out, because I only have a little bit over 400 hit points left. I try to stay behind the bush in case that STRV had pushed up and could spot me from beside it, but thankfully he had not, and I was able to get up here undetected. But now I know where the STRV is, and I do not want to take damage from him, if at all possible. So I see the T3 Jaeger push up. I get a nice high roll into him. And very luckily for me, that STRV low rolled and did not high roll, because otherwise I could have died from that if he had high rolled even just a little bit. So I back up down onto this little precipice here. I didn't even know I could sit on this little spot, but I have one shell left. I realized at this point I was very close to my damage record, so I was really hoping I could get one last shell in and beat that damage record. That damage record came from a Leopard 1 battle I had a while ago, and that damage record is just over 6.7 thousand, I believe. So we're just waiting here. Now I'm definitely a one-shot, and I only have one chance to do more damage, or two, because my reload is so bad, especially with my ammo rack hit, that there's no way that I will get any more shots off if I miss these two. So now it's just a matter of finding them and cleaning them up. The 263 is pushing in from the opposite side onto that STRV, and there he is. I get around, and just like that, I do get the final shot in. And that was my new damage record, 7.3 thousand damage. Finally, after so many years of playing this game, I finally broke the 7,000 damage barrier, which felt really good. And this battle to me felt a lot more like it was deserving of an ace tanker, because we have 5 kills, 7.3k damage. You can see the stats here. Thank you so much all for watching, and we will catch you all in the next one.